What? You what, mate? You want what? The God, mate. Huh? Deadpool, number the second one. They've made two now.
Mook with the mouth.
Deadpool, number one, was excellent. I think most people like it. I've seen it too many times now, but the first time I watched it and the second time was great. Really good. I thought it was a new breed of superhero film that was aware of itself, breaking the fourth wall, referencing the actors and the franchises and stuff. And that was the whole thing about it. So there was a lot of pressure for them to follow that up. And I think I felt that pressure while watching Deadpool 2. I felt there was definitely this kind of pushing for more self-referential stuff and being like overly aware of itself again. And Deadpool 2, when it kind of forgot it was trying to be Deadpool's sequel and just did its thing, it was just moments where it kind of just went with the flow, like the first one. And that's when we just had those moments of absolute glory and the Deadpool that we've grown to love. I think it felt like at certain times of it, it was aware of itself, supposed to being aware of itself, and often kind of pushed that a bit too far, in my opinion. Kind of like broke the fourth wall for the sake of it, and it's kind of lost that initial meta impact. But what I will say is that I think they did a very good job, and I was extremely, extremely happy with it. I thought it was really funny. I'm a big Ryan Reynolds fan. I think he's got it's really quick-witted and sharp, the whole thing. I thought the new additions to the cast of the characters was good. I thought the jokes all worked quite well, and there was a great dynamic, and Deadpool was a really cool character, and I was all in all very satisfied with the film, and I would recommend it to my friends.
So the first film, when I first watched it, I was like, this is probably like one of the best comic book movies I've seen, because it obviously didn't take itself too seriously.
Exactly.
It took the piss out of the comic book franchise as a whole.
Yeah.
And also I loved how, like, you know, Ryan Reynolds has made the character his own. You can't see it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't see anyone else play that.
I
Really enjoyed the writing, just the dialogue.
Yeah, that's
I thought it was
the thing.
very, very clever from the very first moment. Like, some of the jokes in it are just like, you think, who the fuck is thinking that?
I think it's Ryan Reynolds, man.
Maybe
it's his kind of humor.
They
Because in all his films, he's kind of got that like thing.
But they do, like, you know, I have read that, you know, a lot of these films, you know, they allow for a lot of improv.
For sure, it feels very improv,
and you can feel that with him.
Yeah.
But like you said, I did feel the pressure of the first one being exerted onto this film. Like, it was trying very, very hard to maintain the momentum that the first film created. At times, you're just like, well, you met this guy at a party, and he's really funny, and now you have to spend the next day with him. And you're starting to go, well, I'm starting to get a bit sick and tired of your jokes.
Yeah.
So is there nothing you can do? Like, you know, can you be a bit serious for once?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And that's probably like that's the problem with this kind of film, is that I think after 3 or 4 Deadpools, you're going to get pretty fucking sick of it.
That's the thing. But they're going to run a you know they are. They're going to squeeze it, and then they're going to reference how they've squeezed it.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
like, ooh, we've really squeezed this franchise, haven't we? Oh, I'm Ryan Reynolds. It's like a penis joke.
I don't want to see the guy like just get suddenly, that's all he can do.
Yeah.
Because like he tried to escape, like, you know, and go into serious acting, and then got given this role, and everyone's like, oh, that's actually really good. Ryan Reynolds, great again. And then he's just going to become like shit, and everyone's just going to be like, oh, for God's sake.
Shut up, man.
So yeah, I mean, story-wise, it was all right. It was
pretty typical, but not really. I guess,
I mean, as stories go, it wasn't nothing spectacular, but I could see like what they're trying to do with the character.
If you were forced to watch nothing but Marvel movies for the rest of your life, Deadpool would be like a breath of fucking fresh air, though, man.
Yeah.
It's just like oh, thank God, it's a superhero film, and it's like recognizing characters, and it's like the Marvel shit going on, but it's still just like, just refreshing version of that thing that it's like, I really appreciate Deadpool for existing. I'm so grateful for it. And it's nice, they obviously had a bit more budget this time, and there was a lot more, you know, there were new characters, and they managed to expand a little more, and that was the advantage of the successful first one. But I just think it tried to, when it would just let itself be, and it just flowed, and like as you said, the dialogue sometimes was just so great, and the back and forth were just so funny, but sometimes it just felt like it was, this is what we're supposed to be like. And so we do the thing that Deadpool was supposed to do. And it's just like, no, man, just let it flow. Because when it just flowed, it was just hilarious and action-packed. And the characters are fucking awesome.
I think it's like very much reliant on Ryan Reynolds, just like being consistent and original as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is obviously something very... But I did love Domino.
I was going to bring it up.
She was...
What a superpower, man! That's so cool. I'm a big Deadpool fan. As we've said, the first one is just a new breed for me of what could be and should be done with superhero films. It let go of the reins and that you know, and just let it just be fucked up and weird. And that was so important and refreshing in this oversaturated superhero market that we are forced to endure year in and year out. So it was
month in, month out.
Yeah, so there was a lot of pressure on it, and as a huge fan, I was fucking stoked. I was happy. Not as good as the first one, but you knew it wouldn't be. No one would ever expect it to be, and I think it did a fantastic job, and I will happily give it an 8. I loved it. It was better than Avengers.
I wasn't going to come out disappointed, to be honest. And I like Deadpool's character. I like to see it maybe a bit more. Well, actually, do you know what? I like the fact that they've like kind of distanced him away from everyone else.
Yeah.
But they are introducing like, you know, certain characters from within the Marvel universe. But like the cool characters, and they're looking very true to life. They're not looking overly Hollywood. They're looking more towards like what like the artist's impression of them are, which is what I like. Yeah, it's a sequel. I mean, it's not going to be better than the first film because it doesn't have the same originality as it, but it still was quite unrelenting in the humor, in the violence. I probably don't. I guess I'll probably just 7.
Cool. Yeah.
Just a 7. It's a very plain 7.
Cool. I mean, what?
A good 7.
Yeah, 7's good. I mean,
I didn't think it was better than Infinity War. So
here's the difference between Infinity Wars and Deadpool. It's like Infinity Wars is trying to, you go see that with your grandmother and your fucking kids. Like, and everyone's having a great time, they're exhilarated, eating their popcorn, everything's safe and friendly, but really nice and ooh. Deadpool's like, you can't take anyone to that. Your grandparents or your kids will not appreciate that film. It's catered for like people who can handle their shit and don't get easily offended. And because it's pretty raw. It's pretty raw, and that's what I like. You're not gonna have, you know, you can't say to you're not gonna see a little kid going bang on about Deadpool 2. I mean, you might, but like, you see little kids wearing Thor uniforms and fucking Spider-Man masks running around going, Avengers are cool, and you're like, yeah, kid, I love them. But whereas Deadpool, it's like, you shouldn't be watching that. That's not for you. And I like that. It's a little bit of a.
It does have like that indie movie vibe around it. I mean, totally. You know, which makes it quite unique. It reminds me of like the old school comic book films before, you know, Disney bought the Marvel franchise, you know, with like Blade and shit like that, where it was just kind of contained, and it's in its own little thing. For sure. But they've obviously got like a bit more. But I do love the fact that this is the first film which literally just takes the piss out of itself.
Totally.
Consistently, like always, just like never kind of like letting go of the fact that it's just a silly film.
That's the thing.
And that's what makes it like.
Whereas Avengers is like, we're fucking serious.
Yeah,
we're saving the universe.
Yeah, man. Everyone's like looking at hidden meanings.
Whereas Deadpool's like,
there's like a hidden meaning. It's like talking about us.
Yeah.
Like, this is where the world's going.
Yeah. Deadpool's like, fuck you.